High five. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Scott's Beach Up, where you may or may not find yourself entertained at something. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Anyways, today's video is a very special video because today we are working on my high school car, my 73 Plymouth Satellite, the car that many of you want to see me work on, but I refuse to. Anyways, I got some paint product and I have been experimenting with it way too much. My plan this week was to get a 4-barrel carburetor swapped onto this, but here I am having way too much fun polishing my old crappy rattle can paint job. Look at that. It's freaking impressive. This is the next day. It's not a fluke. It's for real. It really works. But the weatherman lied. Today was supposed to be like 40 degrees, raining all day, and well, I think he lied. Because it is freaking 78 degrees today here in Kansas. And you know what? I think we're gonna say screw it. It's later in the day, it's way later than I wanted to. It's like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And that cuts me back on because I gotta rebuild the carburetor, I gotta pull all this intake off, I gotta put the new fuel line on it, and hopefully get it tuned good enough that I can drive back home. Because the idea is to drive this car with the 6-pack on it, I built, all the way to the new property, about 15 minutes away. Do the whole swap and then drive this thing home, or I'm stuck out there. That's the plan. So, what do you say? Let's get to it, let's get out there, and let's do this swap. Okay, so first thing, this 6-pack used to be beautifully dialed in. Since I rebuilt it, I have not taken the time to fully dial it in, but here's a cold start. Sometimes it has a problem with the fuel draining back past the filter, so. That was 2 pumps. Of course, it is a beautiful day today. All right, we call that a pretty successful cold start, don't you say? Anyways, let's get out to the new property and start this swap. All right, but first, before we head out there, we got to stop by the old Advanced Auto Parts because they got me some fresh NGK V-Power plugs for this car, because I can't tell you the last time I changed spark plugs in this thing. So we're going to get some fresh plugs while we're at it. Like I said, we got a little bit of a dead spot between where the primaries transition into the secondary carburetor, so I've learned to drive around it, but it is kind of annoying. Alright, let's get some spark plugs. I just got to the new property and it's kind of windy today. It took out that one building over there where Michael's going to possibly be staying. That sucks. Anyways, just listen to that old girl. She is running good, she is running strong. Let's give her some redneck Watusies. Oop, I kicked my switch with my knee. Whoops. Alright, anyways. Mother Nature's throwing a wrench in our works because you just saw the sky at the other house and it clouded up in the time it took me to get out here. This is kind of scary, and that Widowmaker right there really scares the piss out of me. And there's another one in one of these big trees. It's kind of freaky how many Widowmakers there are in these trees. But, alright, we're either going to get to work on this or we may have to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to give it 10 minutes, see what the weather does, and then I'll decide if we do this today or tomorrow. Alrighty, so here's the intake and carburetor setup we got. Actually, the Satellite seems to be starving for fuel. That old fuel filter is a problem, so I guess we're doing the swap because this has got a really fancy fuel filter. So let's take the lid off and show you what we came up with. Okay, so what we have here is, I believe, is a 750 annular booster Holley. I thought it was an 830 when I first got it, but running the list number, it's on the metering blocks, makes it a 750 annular booster, which is exactly what I wanted. If you are curious in seeing how my brother and I repaired this air cleaner, I can throw that little section of video up here in a little bit. I just want to show you all this. So there's the carburetor. There's our Jegs fuel line that actually came off our 70 Duster. There's the bottom side. Here's how my brother and I made this air cleaner base work. Well, howdy guys. So we're going to give you a little bit of information here. You'll hear the tools at work because my brother is over and we're working on a special thing for this car, which you will be knowing what the video is about. So I bought an air cleaner for my 73 Satellite up at Indy. And it's a fiberglass reproduction that's been chopped up and modified. And my biggest thing for having that air cleaner is I don't want to lose this look. I don't want to lose my six-pack look, but I want to keep it. I want to go to that single four, so I'll show you what we're doing in there to fix that and make that look stay. So here's our air cleaner base. As you can see, this hole has been cut way big. It's like for a Dominator, and it's not cut very well. No offense to people who cut that, but that doesn't work for us. So got a stock air cleaner here that Michael's cutting up for me because, well, he wanted something to do. Thank you, Michael. Yep. And we were wearing the same shirt, but I had to change because that was going to be weird. So the idea is we're going to cut on these lines and then at least get this thing to fit down into this hole where we'll glue it in and pop rivet it in, and that'll adapt it back down to where it'll fit our 830 annular Holly. So we're going to show you a little bit of this, and then we're going to get back to swapping that. Okay, well, Michael is turning into quite the blacksmith while I was talking on the phone with T-Mobile trying to figure out internet for our new property. Michael has beautifully shaped almost a velocity stack out of that. I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, that's beautiful, Michael. We're going to have to start making those. He used that torque converter as an anvil is what he was telling me, but I think I got internet figured out maybe. And right now we just got to clearance a couple edges. Michael's worried about a lip, but I think that'll pop rivet in really nicely. And that should give us enough hood clearance, I hope. So we're going to get to work here soon. All right, well, the saga of the air cleaner is coming to a close. We got it started. This gap, it's not bad right here, but then it gets kind of wonky, but they're cut super wonky. Flip that around, Michael. This is the part that's important, is where the airflow has to come over. That's going to work out pretty dang nice, Michael. You did a good job, Michael. Thank you. So let's get these all finished riveted up. Get this baby ready to install. So we have this affixed now, and somehow this lid or any other six-pack lid needs to attach via these holes. So I'm thinking we run some all thread up, some small stuffs, that way at least it's a stud there, and that way that can just slide down. Done. You ain't got to hunt for bolt holes. Now we got to find a way to attach the base to the carburetor, and typically some of those little scoops and stuff, they have a little T-bar bracket or something. We're looking around the garage, and Michael, he is the true superstar here. Old radio bracket.
CV bracket.
CV bracket.
Cut them down and whoop.
Perfect. That's going to be mint. Well, actually, let's see. That gives you a little better visualization. That's what you were thinking?
Yeah. We'll just have to cut these down real short. And
yep.
It's just got to hold it down.
That'll be perfect. Ah. Good job, Michael. Hell yeah. Alrighty, so we scrapped the CB bracket in favor of something much stronger, much stouter. This is going to wind up being double nutted here. We're not going to keep the wing nut. Wing nut works though. Nice thing is though, the strength factor. You can pick this thing up, ain't going nowhere. It don't move around. So I'd call that solid fix. Thank you, Michael. Yep. Michael's just kind of taking command while I just sit here and film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to work out really great. Now we just got to figure out studs or something to get that attached better. Cut this guy shorter, get our nuts on there. And
if you got more of these studs, just drill those out a little bit. Weld a nut to the bottom of that.
If you guys are curious what kind of extremes we're working with here, we just scrounged for 2 7/16" wrenches. Okay, this is like legit trying to make with what we got, because we need to start scrounging for wrenches because you've moved most of your tools already and you moved most of your hardware. This is actually kind of fun. I mean, is it really? I mean, it's actually more, this is probably higher quality than if we had all of our equipment. So pretty proud of that. So Michael, he drilled out these holes exactly where they had them. And one of them works pretty well. The other one, on the other hand, is right about here.
About here.
Yeah, so not quite sure, because we drilled those holes in the exact same place they already were. How this was attached, no freaking clue, but we're gonna fix it. All right, so here's what we got. We just ran this stud down. We have finalized this design. So we're gonna take the air cleaner, which is now heavier, which is a good thing. I like air cleaner to feel a little bit on the heftier side. So we'll get this lined up. We'll put Michael's little strap across. I don't want to say what I wanted to say. My friends who actually know me will know where my mind was going with that. Might run a nut down on the bottom side of that thread right there. Just keep it from bottoming out too much. Okay, with it all assembled like that, that literally doesn't move much. Now, my brother and I both agreed that we could run that one, but to continue to honor our friend Jason, who pinstriped parts of Jezebel and did the air cleaner for the satellite. This is for you, Jason. Even though he is gone now, we're going to keep his pinstriping legacy alive with the satellite. So that's how that setup will look. I like that. So now we just got to trim these studs up here, wing nuts for that, and that's ready to go on there. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. That was definitely really cool being able to work with my brother and fix this so we can keep the cool six-pack look without actually having this six-pack. Now, we won't all be running the orange lid. We are going to reuse the lid my late friend Jason Von Woods pinstriped for me. It still sucks thinking about Jason being gone. He was a really cool guy. He did all the drop shadowing and all the highlighting on Jezebel's name on the side of the car. Fortunately, he's not here anymore. So this is to keeping your memory alive, Jason. We're not going to run that boring crap. We're going to run yours. So let's get to work. It's 2 o'clock and it gets dark fast. Okay, so I did wimp out. Listened to Mom and didn't end up doing the swap yesterday. About the same time today, I've enlisted Dad. Instead of moving any more today, because we still got a lot of stuff to move, he's going to help me try and speed this process up. So we're going to set you guys up. We're going to hyperlapse this thing through my phone, ripping all this stuff off. Then we'll probably take a break right in the middle, show you everything once it's all off and clean, and then we'll put all the cool stuff on. So, see you guys in a minute. Said you did. Need to be moving. Well, let's get to moving on that. Valve covers removed. Dad went back to the house to get our line wrenches, so those were a good thing. Everything looks good underneath the valve covers. I'm going to put them back on. So if you're curious as why, so we can get all this other stuff off and not drop anything in the motor, because that'd be bad. That'd really ruin this whole swap. Oh yeah, popped right off. Perfect. Oh yeah. All right, well, we got paper towels down the valley. We just cleaned the intake side of everything. We'll just make sure the intake ports are clean, and then we can silicone new valley tray that's actually going to block off the heat crossover instead of the having it open like the old deal did. By the way, if anybody's curious, this is dumb young me. When we first put this engine together, we didn't have any like valve cover breathers. Yeah, so the engine let me know it wasn't breathing. So valve cover breathers, solve that problem. That was a long time ago, but everything looks good inside the valley. The cam looks beautiful, of course. Everything down in here, ain't nothing wrong down there. So all right, let's get ready to put the valley on. You know, I just had this realization. It was worth actually taking my time to pause the camera, hit my head on the roof of the car, and say this much. that if you ever had silicone, like this right stuff, stuck to your finger. Okay, now you have this image in your head, you have this feeling on your finger. Tell me it isn't just like poop. Because the first thing you want to do is go find a rag to get that sticky, smelly crap off your finger. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I didn't think so. Okay, back to the hyperlapse. Okay, so everything's back on. I'll just bring you guys over. Show you this real fast, even though I had the perfect shot. Everything's connected. We have as close to full throttle as we can get, as we're willing to mess with right now. Battery's connected. This is mainly to see if we're gonna have fuel leaks, even though ignition will be on. So if it fires up, that'd be pretty freaking fantastic. What do you say, Dad?
All right, see what happens.
All right. Alright, we put a little bit of fuel down the carburetor. I don't have a way to fill the bowls easily right now, so we got a lot of fuel lines to fill up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, you're gonna need a rock to hit that. Needle and seat's kind of sticky already, I can see.
It's squirting out the bowl right there on the top.
Okay.
You need to tighten that front bowl or something.
Alright, so after fiddling with that needle and seat in the rear side, we got her running. We got a pretty bad leak on the accelerator pump on the rear side. And yes, these lifters have always sounded noisy. It's part of the way they're made. They're high lift Johnsons by years. Got a little bit of a leak right here, but that accelerator pump is leaking pretty bad. And so is that header. But it runs pretty good. Give her a Watusi, Dad. Okay, we'll tighten up that and then I can go home. All right, Dad, kill it. All right, so let her set for a second. All right, see if it'll fire right back up, no gas. Probably. Oh! Okay, all right, I'm gonna fix the accelerator pump so we can go get going. Dad found his calling, holding the light.
I'm the light guy.
See, let's just take a minute here and let's realize that you come out of the womb basically becoming the light holder tool. I can't say the normal word. You become the normal tool lackey. Let's say tool lackey, because we can say that PG. You start out as that, then you become the mechanic, and then somehow you revert back. Because Dad,
Light guy.
yeah. Okay, so I want to go over a couple of things. If you guys are going to set up a fresh carburetor, mainly Holly, the first thing you got to do in tuning is getting these adjusted right, your pump shot arms here. Basically, the way I got this set up is as soon as this arm starts to activate, it'll just eke fuel. It's literally sitting right on that arm and you can see just how much play, and it's very little to nothing. About a human hair, that's what you need. Of course, the first thing, fuel leaks, kill your fuel leaks. Then set that up. Of course, you need to idle too, so idle, then do that, and then set your float height, and you should be good to go to do all your fine tunings. This thing actually runs pretty good. But I'm gonna set that rear float height because I had to change that needle and seat. I wanna make sure that's groovy, and we can go home. Okay, let's see how it fires out now. Both my feet are out. Let's see if it'll just fire up. That's pretty good.
Take one.
Take one?
Is it take one?
Actually, take like 63, 69. Nice.
Give me a cigarette.
Huh?
Give me a cigarette. I'm the light guy.
This is true father and son bonding at its finest. Here, I got you. I got you. I don't want you to strain yourself. Faster than that.
I'm gonna go get my Ivan. Ivan the Terrible and have him chase you down.
Anyways, air cleaner gasket. We're gonna use one for the first time ever. Okay, I can't say that because we have used them in the past. It's just they never get put back on. I'm not really OCD, but I'm just enough that it's annoying. Okay, where's the cool lid? There it is.
The cool lid.
Yeah, like I showed you guys earlier in the video, if you actually watched all the way through, you're awesome, thank you. We made it to where we don't have to run that crappy,
Orange hood.
yeah.
Or lid.
And then I'll put one of my K&Ns on there once I break the glue bond. There you go! What more could you want? Probably seeing me drive down the road. That'd probably be the one. There's a lot of it that's not tasteful.
Look at that.
Well, there's the look. Alright, let's go home. Ready to head home. Dad's in the van, Anna's in her truck. I like to film and, you know, tell you guys my first impressions, but it's not going to be real safe. I'll see what I do. Van. I know, it's dark out, but we got it done today. There we go. Okay, let's get this old beast going. All right, so we locked everything up. It got a little dark. See if she fires up. No pump shot. Perfect. All right. Now let's see what happens when we just drive it around the property a little bit. Ooh, kind of snappy. Kind of sensitive right there at the beginning. I'm pretty good with that. It'll take some getting used to. We got some more tuning to do. We lost some of our cam thumpy sound, but a little more tuning, we'll get everything dialed in. A little more time and work probably help a lot. Oil pressure took a freaking nosedive. I guess the gauge must have broke. Well, that was a short-lived drive. Remember when I said that I lost oil pressure? I thought maybe it was just that cheap gauge died finally. Well, I got up here and I noticed the engine was making a lot of noise. She wasn't really making much power. And I got pulled up right over there, north end of Casey's, and I could hear the engine making noise. It was top end noise, making like, it's how you guys basically hear this engine on camera, just clatter, clatter, clatter. But in real life, it's not that loud. Now it's clatter, 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 just like you guys hear. So I'm guessing the oil pump died literally in the time it took for us to do this. It's freaking amazing. I don't know how hurt the engine is, but I hope it didn't hurt it at all. Ah, isn't that a nice, beautiful sight? The old Pooh Lagoon. Yep, if you know what a lagoon is, you know exactly what this is. We do have a legitimate pond over there, but it's easier to walk to. Anyways, all right guys, so you saw where we left off with the satellite. We dropped oil pressure. I'm freaking out at the gas station waiting for Dad to come get me with the trailer once again. Thank God for the car trailer. Don't have a car trailer, you really need to get one. it's kind of a necessity when you're building hot rods like that one. The problem child, which my buddy Bobby named it probably about 7 years ago, because it's constantly always giving me fits. Anyways, so upon sitting there at Casey's waiting for Dad to get there with the trailer to haul the car home, I had a realization. I filmed everything. Why don't I just go through all my footage and see if I can find something, a reason why it would just kill oil pressure. And if you guys watch the video closely in this speedy footage, you will notice the most rookie, stupid, ignorant, no excuse of a mistake. And that's on me. And you know what? I could easily pretend like that never happened. I could leave that footage out. I could fix it. And I could pretend like I never made a mistake. But you know what? I'm not like that. I left the 5 to 6 little separate squares. They were all still connected, a paper towel in the valley. I got into a rush. We were trying to get the build done, get everything swapped out before it got dark, and that's what happened. I did the dumbest thing any guy can do with an engine, and we put rags in there and we forgot to take them out. So now they're either circulated through the system, don't know what's wrong with it. The engine started making some top end noise, but nothing bottom end. It still started up pretty easy, ran really good. I mean, it drove, you know, it's not even half a mile to go from this property to the Casey's up there on the north end of town. We have our old house on the south end. So it really, I don't think we hurt too much. We may have damaged something because oil stopped getting circulated, but I think we caught it just in time. So that'll be next time. I don't want to do it to you guys, but you know what? We did have a lot of fun. It starts up beautifully. It ran great. Hopefully we can get the intake back off, find all the rags are still right there. I can be hopeful, can't I? And we get them all pulled out and we get them replaced, because that would be, or not replaced, but removed. And get some fresh oil in her, some fresh zinc, because that engine does need an oil change. And I did snippet this on the next part of the video. We are still moving air compressor and stuff because tire went flat, but I'll show you the dipstick on this thing just for you guys. It's just dark oil. There's no metallic in it or anything. And I started to film a video last weekend, but we decided we needed a break from moving and from working on broken Mopars, which we are very accustomed to. But yeah, we're gonna get started on that video probably this weekend while moving and doing more renovations. You know, it's the tricky part is we still got so much to move, but I still want to make videos for you guys, and I want to get this car back on the road. This kind of bugs me. I just started falling in love with it after polishing the paint. So anyways, guys, I apologize for doing something idiotic, but hey, it means more content for you. It just means less money in my pocket. Now would be a good time to have merchandising or sponsorships, so that way maybe they could refund me and help me out a little bit, but we ain't got none of that. So anyways, guys, thank you for checking out the single 4 6-pack delete swap video. It doesn't have the ending I wanted, but you did get to hear it run. We got the carburetor fixed. We went through all that hoopla. Now we just got to do it again. So I'll catch you guys next time. As always, take care.
I know we'll just be able to have to fix that old girl. It's a shame, but it happens. It run good, and it'll run good again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.